Hello, welcome back. Today I wanted to talk about AI and 2 ways I've been using AI recently that have really helped me. This is the Sales Ops Effect, where we strengthen our skills as strategic leaders to grow businesses with integrity. The first way is to use AI to help you clarify your thoughts. And the second way is using AI more traditionally to help you plan or to help you write email text. And so the first way, and I have no affiliation with any AI I talk about today, so not sponsored, but Otter AI, OTTER AI, is something that I've been using recently, and I really like it because you're supposed to put it on in meetings, so it comes in as an extra person and it just records everything, and then it can give you the transcript back, and then it'll summarize everything automatically for you. But what I like about it is that you can ask it questions about what was said in the meeting, specific questions to summarize certain things. And I thought, oh, well, that's really cool. You know, did anybody imply this thing that happened, for example? And I thought, that's great. But what happens if I just use it to help me with my thoughts? If you don't know, I'm neurodivergent, I have ADHD. And so I have a lot of thoughts, to put it lightly. And where I don't have a large team, and when you are the leader of the teams, sometimes you can't talk about certain things with people who report to you because they don't need that stress. You know, there's many things that you can share, but some things are not to be given to people who report to you because they're not paid to be that stressed out about certain things, you know? And if you really don't have a direct peer, or your peers and your colleagues that you would trust with these kinds of things aren't available to be your sounding board for things like that, then what I have done is effectively talking out loud to the AI. So you can basically record yourself and then upload it. Talking out loud to the AI, talk through all of the things that I want to talk about and all of the different challenges that I'm having. Basically, like, talk to it like as if you're talking to your therapist or whatever. And you just go through everything. You let it all out, how you really feel about absolutely everything. And some people do this by journaling, but that doesn't work for me because I just talk too fast. Or I think too fast, so therefore my handwriting cannot keep up with me. But talking it all out, and then putting it into the AI and then asking it questions about, okay, so this topic, what were my main points that I was worried about? Also, what solutions did I come up with? Based on the other projects that I was talking about, where do I see this as a priority? And you're using the AI to basically siphon, they're going through all of your thoughts to just clean it all up, to say, actually, let's just put this in order. This is what you're actually trying to say, and this is what you want to do, and this is what you're worried about. But you're worried about this because of this. But if you sort out this, then this wouldn't be a problem anymore, if that's not too confusing. But effectively, you can ask it certain questions, and you don't have to do that on the same day. I think that's a really key thing there, actually. You might have heard I don't know who it was, it might have been Einstein, but somebody basically said the person who is asking the question isn't the same person that can receive the answer. Basically, if you're in one frame of mind, you can't receive the feedback from another frame of mind, essentially. And so say everything that you need to say and then walk away from it. And then in a couple of days, then you come back and you ask it some questions, and you ask it the questions because you know you're effectively asking your brain. You're asking permission you're asking the opinion of, the perspective of your brain that at one point was really frustrated about stuff and was just giving it all out. And then now you can come back with a clear mind where you're looking for the answer to say, hey, brain of the past, what do you think about this thing? And what do you think about that thing? And it's kind of creepy, but it's really cool. It's really cool, and it's really helpful because, again, sometimes you don't have a confidant to talk about everything with. It's still really good to talk to another human, particularly if you're collaborating in different departments and the projects that you're working on affect other departments. I'm not saying you don't have to speak to anybody anymore because you can just work it out with the AI. But sometimes you need to clarify your own thoughts before you can even speak to other people about what you want to do. And even just looking at your list of risks or worries, you can have a clearer mind, say, do you know what? That's not something that I probably should share because it's a big deal. Or that's something I definitely should share because it's just clearer for you to see. Because when you have all of your thoughts in your mind and they just stay there, they're there with the emotions, and the emotions get really cloudy and make it difficult for you to think, as you know. So that's a really cool thing that I like, and it helps me to plan for this year. And I will be continuing to use it and see how that goes. So again, that was Otter AI, OTTER. There are probably other AIs that do that. It's just the one that was introduced to me, and I quite like it. And the second thing was using ChatGPT. I probably could use Otter AI for this, but again, I started using ChatGPT for this when you need help with planning, setting an agenda for something, even just saying to it, I'm working on this thing and this is what I've got so far. Is there anything else that I'm missing? If your brain works like mine, again, mine does work differently to the general population. I don't do well with statements. My mind can't come up with things when it's just, oh, we need to plan the quarterly meeting. There's plenty of things that need to be done, and that would be a natural thing as a result of that, but it doesn't set off anything in my mind to go and do something because it's a statement. Whereas what do we need to do to make the quarterly meeting successful? All of a sudden the lights start coming on. And again, that's not everybody, but if your mind does work like that, then this is how I use ChatGPT to help me sometimes. Sometimes I probably could use it more, and I need to accommodate that for myself because, you know, it's effectively free. And you basically say to it, hey, I need your help in writing this thing, giving me this agenda list, giving me whatever it is. What questions do you have for me that I can answer for you that will help you to answer this question effectively? So you get ChatGPT to ask you the things that it needs to know from you. And because it's asking you specific questions, and there'll be like 10 questions because it usually just gives you 10 off the bat, then you can answer those specific questions. You don't even have to answer all of them, but because they're specific questions and you don't have to go into a lot of detail, it just triggers a different part of your brain to look at whatever you're doing differently. And they might seem like, oh, I might as well have just done the whole thing originally. No. It's actually pretty good because the way that it can then turn around and answer what you asked for it to answer is just different from how you would have laid it out. And obviously, if you are using the exact text rather than just using it for pointers, then you can ask it to apply certain tone to it as well so that it sounds more like you. And then obviously, you still put your own finishing touches on everything at the end because it's, you know, your work. It's coming from your thoughts rather than getting something that's just completely generic. And how do people plan a quarterly meeting? Cool. You can start there if you want to. There's nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't hurt to make it more specific to you. Get it to ask you questions and you answer those questions. And then so that it knows it can use that to answer your secondary question, if that makes sense, or even your primary. Might have gotten that wrong. So I hope that makes sense. But basically, both of those things are about clarity. And it's about using the AI to help you to draw the best out of you, whether it be clarity or just simply order. And it doesn't take that long, whereas you could be pacing up and down, racking your brains. And again, you know, journaling works for some people, but it simply doesn't work for me. So those two things do work for me. Let me know if they work for you too. And also let me know if you've got any other tips for AI, because I haven't dived in that deep yet, but these things seem like safe water for the moment. So thank you for listening. And we'll be speaking very, 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 very soon.